again, I like to start my segments by putting my biases on the table so that people know where I'm coming from when I cover these kinds of stories. So, just real quick, again, I love the gays. I got a lot of gay friends, and they're great. I love them. I love the transes. I got a lot of trans friends. They're great. I love them. Actually, I don't have any friends, but, I like to pretend I have friends just for the sake of doing the show. But with all that being said, we need to cover something serious. And what is that? Well, major brands are silent about Pride Month after backlash. Now, again, as the gays and the transes know, corporations are not our friends. They love pandering. They love telling everyone how much they love gay people while they employ child slavery in other countries to get their chocolate, their coffee, and so on and so forth, right? But they'll tell everyone how great they are and signal their virtues about how gay people are great. We just kind of take it for granted. Oh, everyone's going to change their shit to rainbows on June 1st. And, well, it's not happening anymore. So, why? Well, let's find out. Brands that have recently been the subject of backlash online have remained silent on social media for the first day of LGBTQ plus Pride Month. Now, again, I want to say this as someone in the LGBTQ community, queer. Queer is the word. I'm sorry. I'm done with LGBTQ plus. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done with LGBTQIA plus. I'm done with LGBT. I'm done. Okay? And I think most people are done. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's just a stupid fucking way to communicate things. We have a word that works better and is inclusive. Again, if you're an asexual, how do you feel about being constantly relegated to a plus sign? I mean, again, it's just, to me, the LGBTQ plus terminology is just an exclusive term. Queer is an all-inclusive term. It might make a bunch of 80-year-old gay people that hate trans people upset, but you know what? Fuck them. Anyway, the North Face, Lego, and Miller Lite carried supportive messages on June 1st, 2022, that's last year, but did not do so this year. All three brands have been accused of going woke over recent marketing campaigns. Other brands such as Target, Bud Light, and Adidas have yet to post, despite doing so later in June last year. Of the accounts reviewed by Newsweek, only Kohl's and PetSmart had defied critics so far in posting Pride Month content. So again, I am not someone that's saying like, I wake up in the morning and I go check Lego's Twitter account to feel included with it. I don't give a fuck. Ultimately, when they do this rainbow capitalism shit, I roll my eyes. But again, capitalism, the whole point of capitalism is to make money. And so it is interesting that they're not going to sign up for Pride this year because they're afraid that conservatives are going to boycott them, right? Negative 605 conservatives are going to stop buying shit at Target because they were conservatives are going to stop with their Lego collections all of a sudden. Like what? Like, conservatives aren't shopping at fucking Lego anyway, right? So it's like, I don't even know what the fuck they're worried about. But again, it's indicative of fascism growing in this country. This is a fascist country. It's been a fascist country, I don't know, for about 400 years, maybe. So it's not a surprise, we have ebbs and flows of fascism in this country. At some points in our history, we killed people for being Native American. At some points in our history, we killed people for being black. At some points in our history, we put people in cages for being Japanese. At some points in our history, including today, we put people in cages simply for the crime of being black, right? So this is a fascist country. It's always been a fascist country. It's never been a democracy, and that just needs to be understood. If you understand what democracy, like the definition of democracy means, then you know that this isn't a democracy. So whenever you hear someone talk about American democracy, they're probably a dumbass. I'm just being honest with you. And again, corporations, their whole goal is to make money. And they've, in some instances, decided, well, we make more money by pandering to fascists than by pandering to gay people. That's it. That's the calculation. We want to virtue signal to neo-Nazis. Because they think if they virtue signal for neo-Nazis, that they will make more money. Now, a lot of people don't know this about the Holocaust because they don't really teach you anything about the Holocaust in school. I remember going to high school, and the only thing I learned about the Holocaust is they had concentration camps and 6 million Jews died. That's it. They don't teach you that who else was in the concentration camps? Gay people. Whoa! They don't teach you that who else was in the concentration camps? Trans people, all kinds of immigrants. Roma, for example, right? They don't teach you that what did the Nazis do to gain power? They made partnerships with major corporations. A big example, Ford. Another big example, IBM. Another big example, Coca-Cola. By the way, did you know Fanta, the brand Fanta, originated in Nazi Germany? The Nazis, I'm talking about the actual Nazis, after they gained power, what they wanted to do as a cultural shift was create a new soda. They created the first version of Fanta, which was an apple drink, and they marketed it all across the world as like an invention of the Nazi state. So look at what the Nazis are contributing to the world. So again, this is what's happening in our world right now, right? IBM, Ford, right? Now we have Lego, we have Miller Lite, we have Bud Light. They are all marching in lockstep with the modern day Nazis. They are partnering with the fascists because that is what money always does. Money and power know that Nazism is more popular. Again, whether or not you want to believe me, Nazism is more popular than supporting minorities. You see a lot of people, liberals, Democrats most likely, saying that they support gay people and trans people, but when push comes to shove, they'll go like, right? That's why you see Joe Biden running for office under all people should be treated equally, and then he's like, well, maybe the biological boys shouldn't be in sports, using right-wing Nazi dog whistles and genocidal language. That's the Joe Biden administration. So, again, Democrats, they don't really care. They'll pretend to care, but once the sea change happens, they're just going to go flip-flop right to the Nazi side. We see it every single time. So, companies are facing a rising tide of outrage over advertising campaigns that are viewed by some as appealing to progressive causes, and calls for boycotts that many have faced in recent months. I would love to see these numbers on the boycotts, because I'm very much so convinced that the boycotts have not actually done anything. While experts have said such campaigns provide an opportunity for brands to appeal to consumers in new markets, critics have accused companies of alienating their traditional customer base. Like, that's the thing about Nazis, is they're a bunch of fucking uppity snowflakes. Like, I like the idea that a gay person might go to Target being so offensive to you that you're going to make your entire identity about boycotting Target for multiple weeks of your life because a gay person went there. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, that's fucking crazy shit, okay? I don't know what to tell you, okay? That's insane. And the fact that these companies are listening to them is the most sane thing in the world, because capitalism is inherently a fascistic style of governance. That's just what it is. What is capitalism? How did capitalism start, right? Capitalism evolved out of a mercantilistic society, which was kind of like, a neo-feudalistic kind of, kings and queens wanted to occupy spaces all across the world, and they wanted to motivate people and incentivize people to go and do that for them. So they basically said, whatever you find out there, feel free to keep. Give me whatever percent, 10%. I will give you a boat. I'll give you a crew. Fly around, or, sail around the world, kill a bunch of people, take all their shit. That was mercantilism, a combination of capitalism and feudalism, where people are doing their own individual, acts of profit seeking, but under a king and queen environment. And then they rebelled against the kings. They said, well, we can make more money, we can get more gold if we just get rid of these fucking kings, right? So that is when capitalism really kind of went into the fold. Look at the United States rebelling against the king, for example, becoming one of the first capitalist nations, right? And what is capitalism? Capitalism is less checks and balances on mercantilism. Now, again, you can say kings and queens, horrible shit. I don't like kings, I don't like queens. But it is factually a check and a balance on the, the ways that capitalism functions. Profit seeking, if for profit's sake, leads to genocide, as we saw with Native Americans in North and South America, right? So again, whether or not you like it, I don't know. A king and a queen having some sort of dual power with, capitalistic interests. It is, again, And so we live in a country now where the government is supposed to occupy that region, but the government doesn't have any power. The government is weak. The government is feckless. The government is paralyzed. And so we're basically in a situation where fascism, the natural byproduct of capitalism, you can't have fascism without capitalism. It is a requirement, right? So now we're just seeing that bubble to the surface once again, because the government, feckless and paralyzed, is refusing to become a check and a balance on the power of these corporations, on the power of fascism, on the power of money. And so they're just going to basically take over the world unless something stops them. But you know nothing's going to stop them. So we're all going to fucking get thrown into a camp and gassed any minute now. By we, I mean, you know, us queers out there. So while I'm doing my show and broadcasting my queerdom, and I know I'm going to be sitting in a fucking chamber somewhere with fucking being chained to the wall, being forced to watch this video of me talking very freely, saying, well, this is why we're going to kill you, because we found you from your YouTube videos, but I'm going to do it anyway. So maybe I'm just having a little fun. Let's keep going. The outdoor, on June 1st, 2022, the North Face, I don't know what that is, posted to Instagram that it was proud to be donating $100,000 to a group that organizes nature-based, like the North Face, I guess it's a company, I don't know what it is, but they're donating $100,000. I'm assuming, if it's going to be in this article, I'm going to assume the North Face is some like multi-billion-dollar fucking company. And the idea that a multi-billion-dollar company that probably employs child slavery in other countries to get, you know, whatever products that they have, which most companies do, food companies, clothing companies, chocolate, coffee, whatever, they employ child slavery, right? So I love that. Oh, we're going to donate $100,000. Oh, really? How about $100 million? How about $1 billion? I don't know, man. Like, put your money where your mouth is. 100,000 is a drop in the fucking bucket, but whatever. While it kept its Summer of Pride post, which provoked criticism in May, it has yet to post a Pride message this year on social media. Wow. The outdoor clothing brand I guess it's an outdoor clothing brand, the North Face, faced boycott calls in late May this year after launching its Pride Month campaign featuring Patagonia, a drag queen. In a statement to Newsweek, it defended the campaign, saying the company has always believed the outdoors should be welcoming, equitable, and a safe place for all. Now, again, this is one of those things where it's like, anytime a company says anything, it's irrelevant because it just doesn't matter. Like, it just doesn't matter. But, like, wow. The company has always believed the outdoors should be a... What? We're talking about neo-Nazis wanting to commit a genocide of transgender people, and you're making a joke about, like, when you go on a hike, you should be allowed to suck dick. Like, what? I just, like... You should be allowed to be gay while outside? Like, who? What? Outside? Like, what? Like, I'm sorry. How is that relevant at all? Like, we're talking about Nazis taking over the country and tried to commit a genocide of people, and you're, like, making a fucking pun about your company. I'm, like, Jesus fucking Christ. Similarly, Lego faced calls for boycott after announced its A to Z of Awesome campaign, which it described as a celebration of the beautiful, powerful language of the LGBTQ plus AI plus community using its trademark building blocks. Despite posting several times in June 22, including June 1st about Pride Month, the toy maker has not posted about Pride this year. So, anyway, there you go. We're fucked in this situation, and just to be very clear, not in the good dick way. This is not a good situation at all. And again, while I roll my eyes at corporate pandering, the idea that they're reversing course and pandering to neo-Nazis, because that's what this is, right? You have a choice. It's a binary situation. Either you pander to the gays, right? Okay. Or you pander to Nazis. That's it. Those are your choices. And these companies, Lego, the North Face, all of these other ones, are pandering to Nazis. I need you to really understand this. I need you to look at this from an anti-fascist lens of analysis. There are three major groups, right? But two that actually have power. One, the liberals. They have power, right? And they don't do anything with it. They're just kind of sleepwalking. They're zombies. They just kind of walk. Oh, Dianne Feinstein is a good example, right? Then you have the Nazis. They also have power. And then you have everyone else who has no power and is probably not a Nazi, right? And so when corporations pander, they're choosing to pander to people with power being Nazis, or choosing to pander to people with power being liberals, and liberals love virtue signaling and feeling like, oh, look at how great I am. I have a pride flag in my fucking front lawn or whatever, right? So again, they're going to side with power no matter what, and sometimes power likes to pander to gay people, to queer people in general, and sometimes power doesn't. So they're siding with the Nazis. It's that fucking simple. I just don't know what to tell you about it. Like, if you, at this point in 2023, do not understand that fascism in this country not is coming, is already here and has been here for a while, you're just a dumb motherfucker. You are a dumb motherfucker. It's just that simple. You are the dumbest motherfucker who's ever lived, and hey, you probably believe in Jesus too. Hopefully that makes your life feel a little bit better.